Proclamation number 6610, July 31, 1956. Proclaiming Jesus' teaching of love is urgently needed. My gospel shall be spread throughout the world. I gave this instruction to my disciples while I still lived on earth, and I give my disciples of the last days the same instruction today. For it has become more necessary than ever to convey to people my gospel, the gospel of love, which is unfamiliar or no longer taken seriously by everyone, even though it is well known. People have distanced themselves from me because they no longer live in love. Thus I cannot be with them either. And a life without love will result in certain death for you. Hence it has become imperative that people be informed that my teaching of love is proclaimed to them, and the danger therein is brought home to them if they fail to live according to my commandments of love, and what they will achieve if they shape themselves into love. My teaching of love has to be proclaimed to all nations of this earth, and therefore I send my disciples into the world again. The teaching material I give to them, in which they shall distribute, is exquisite, so that people can once again be taught in the same way which I preached on earth as the man Jesus, in order to bring salvation to people from their lifeless and constrained condition. More than ever, it has become necessary to emphasize the divine teaching of love, for it is observed far too little. What should be normal for people, such as loving each other like brothers and doing for each other what is customary amongst brothers, is no longer known to them. Everyone just thinks of himself, and everyone regards his fellow human being as his enemy rather than his brother. There is no community which unites with love. Unselfish neighborly love has almost disappeared, but selfish love has grown ever stronger. And therefore people are at great risk of delivering themselves to death and having to linger in this sleep of death for eternities again, but which they can escape if only love is kindled and practiced in their hearts once more. For this reason I repeatedly prioritize love. I myself constantly preach love, the essence of my word, which is transmitted to you directly from above, only ever consists of love, which motivates me to help you, and which has to be practiced by you too, if you want to remedy your soul's hardship, if you want to wake up to life and not ever lose this life again. And I awaken servants for myself everywhere, disciples, which I instruct again as during the time of my life on earth, disciples to whom I proclaim my pure gospel with the instruction to pass it on, because I know that people have to be informed of the gospel of love, of their earthly task to deliver themselves from their bondage and darkness through unselfish love. For although people know my commandments of love, they nevertheless speak of them thoughtlessly. They don't consider them in their hearts and act accordingly. And therefore their attention needs to be drawn to them again. Time and again, they have to be spoken to and stimulated to act with love. They have to be told that they can only become blessed through love, because only through love can they come closer to and establish the unity with me, which has to take place without fail in order to be happy. And thus there is no other mission more urgent than this: to proclaim my teaching of love, or to revive it again with reference to the one who suffered for love and died on the cross. For all people have to be informed of him who exemplified to them a life of love, who was motivated by love to endure utmost suffering and an excruciating death in order to save humanity from the night of death. People shall only be taught to look after their fellow human beings with unselfish love, to approach them like brothers and treat them like brothers. Only that guarantees their own salvation. But a heartless way of life inevitably drives people into my adversary's hands, who is devoid of all love. Yet until the very last day of this earth, my messengers will still preach love until the last day that they, as my disciples of the end of time, will proclaim the gospel of love. For only the person who accepts it will escape the end and experience my love and mercy to the same extent as he has practiced it himself. Amen.